Hi guys, we're Make UK. My name's Denis.
I'm Will.
And we're both second year apprentices in Make UK. So Make UK is based in Aston, and basically the main objective of today is find out why manufacturing engineering makes up about 12% of the GDP in the UK. So why Make UK? So Make UK is one of the training providers in the UK for manufacturing, but it's not just manufacturing. We do all sorts of engineering, which you will find out later on in the presentation. So we've got electrical bias, mechanical bias, pneumatics, hydraulics, and other things as well, such as metrology, quality control, and stuff like that. So I am a second year apprentice. We've done more than just being apprentices and going to work. So I've done a few conferences in the UK. We did Manufacturing Conference 2022 in London. We were part of Hackathon where Cambridge University came over, set us a challenge to make engineering more affordable for companies. And me and Will were both on the same team and we both won.
Thank you. Thank you, Denis. All right, hello everyone. My name's Will. I'm 20 years old and I'm also a second year apprentice at Make UK. My company is Brandauer & Co Limited, based in Newtown, North Birmingham. We're a metal pressings company supplying to a wide range of industries all across the world. I also went down to the conference in London earlier this year, where I led my team, the Red Team, to victory. As you heard from Denis, I was also part of the hackathon in association with Cambridge University. We won thanks to our innovation and design.
Obviously, most people have this argument when they're trying to decide whether to go for apprenticeships or go the traditional path of academia. So let's give you a little bit of insight as to some of the drawbacks or some of the positives that we can get from it. So with apprenticeships, 90% of the apprentices are actually employed during and at the end of their apprenticeship. So you are earning while you're learning.
Whereas alternatively, with university, as you can see, 1 in 5 graduates are now in low or medium skilled positions. You've worked all that time on your degree, and then you might not even get a job.
Another opportunity that you can get with apprenticeships is that apprentices are actually in high demand. You are learning the actual skills to do the job that you want. It's not theoretical based, it's actually hands-on, doing the welding, the fitting, the electricals of the job that you're doing with the company that you're with.
Whereas alternatively, with university, you do that for 4 years and you finish it with £50,000 in debt. £50,000 in the red? Why would you want that? It's just unneeded.
And as I said earlier, you are earning while you're learning. So it is anywhere from national minimum wage and slightly lower, but we have got great apprenticeships, and later on you'll see the companies that we do work with. So some of the companies that Make UK are as big as Jaguar Land Rover, Ishida, Severn Trent, and so on and so forth.
Thank you. Whereas with university, you learn a lot of stuff and not all of it is relevant. You can see here, qualifications not included. Some jobs require you to have additional qualifications that aren't associated with your degree. So you've worked all that time and it may not even be relevant. Whereas with the apprenticeship, you'd be learning job-relevant skills.
Lastly, 71% of the apprentices stay with their employer afterwards because they did train you, they made you into who you are, and at the end of the day, you are working for them because you know the job inside out from day one, and by the end of it, you're an actual expert in your field.
Whereas with uni, you've got classroom learning. You're learning things out of a textbook. You're not actually doing it. You're not actually doing stuff that is relevant to the job. You're doing stuff that's relevant to your course. So you're not training for anything specific. You're learning things for the degree rather than for the apprenticeship and the job.
So this is the normal look at the UK and some of the engineering things that you can do. So first of all, design. Now, when we say design engineers, people think, okay, cool, they're just drawing pretty pictures. Really and truly, that's not what it's like. So we have lots of different kind of design engineers. That's designing machines, that's designing tools, that's designing electrical pathways for machines. So you've got electrical design, you've got mechanical design, you've also got pneumatic design, you've got operations design, where you've got the plant that you're going to put the conveyor belts in, and you have to design the floor space in order to maximize your space and money and usage. There's a lot that goes into design, and there's a lot of different pathways when it comes to engineering in the design sector alone.
Then after design, you've got manufacturing. That is also equally as diverse as design. You've got manufacturing, machining, CNC programming, assembly technician, and toolmaker. So many different elements of manufacturing, because there's manufacturing components, manufacturing machines that actually make components. We do both at Brandauer. But yeah. And then after that comes testing.
So with testing is actually a more in-depth than you think. So I'm guessing none of you have heard of what metrology is. Does anyone know what it is? Okay, so metrology is the actual science of finding out why science works. It's really weird, but let me explain it to you. So, for example, you've got your research and development department who's researching the tools that they're using to see if they can get a cheaper material or more expensive material that's more efficient or whatnot. The metrologists are the guys who are saying, yes, that will be more efficient, and here's the science behind why. Yes, that is more efficient tool, and that's why it works. And they go out and do loads of experiments on loads of different materials to find out which is the best for your company. So in most companies in the UK, you will have one or two people that are the metrology experts around the other people here, which is the quality engineers. Now, the quality engineers make sure that the quality of the product that you're doing is great. But it's not just the quality of the product. It's the quality of the tools that you're using. It's the quality of the machines that you're using. It's the quality of the floor space, the quality of the environment, in order to make sure that you're maximizing profitability while looking after the environment as well. Because our job, as well as engineers, is to not just make things and do things, but to also look after the environment and try and reach for net zero.
After testing, you've got fixing, maintenance. You've got your maintenance engineers, people who maintain machines. See, it's no good having a broken down machine. So you've got all kinds of maintenance. You've got regular maintenance, planned maintenance, where you deliberately take time out of operations to fix it, general servicing to ensure that there's no disruption. And then there's field service engineering. You would go out into the field where other machines and systems are located in order to fix them. It's effectively, fix. It's as simple as it gets.
And lastly, you have the process engineers. Now we've done all that engineering, now we've made some stuff, now we've got our machines, now our plant looks good. We need people to operate it. We need people to make sure that the processes, in order to make the tools or the machining or the aluminium or whatever it is that you're doing, is working efficiently and everything doesn't break down inside the factory or the warehouse or whatever it is that the environment is. Some places are foundries, and so you need people who know what the process is in order to maximize the amount of space and time that you're using. Now, even with all of these things, we still have biases. As I said earlier, you've got electrical bias, you've got pneumatical bias, you've got hydraulics, and you've got mechanical as well. But that is not just what all engineering is. Me personally, I work in part of the software engineering team, but I'm learning electrical bias at the same time as part of my apprenticeship, which I'll talk to you a little bit more later. So, the way that Make UK works in general, it's not the same for everyone, but remember, we're all individuals and we're not all the same, so some people have different pathways. In the first year, you do about 40 weeks where you're inside the classroom as well as on the shop floor honing your skills. So that might be hand fitting, which we like to call bench, where you're actually on a bench filing down for a few hours and making sure that stuff works. That could be your maths in the classroom so that you get to the required level. Now at Make UK, if your maths isn't strong, it's not the end of the world. We are all there to help you. Me personally, I lost my GCSE results and my A-level results because I did it quite a while ago. So I couldn't find my certificate or get in contact with them. So I had to redo my level 2 maths. So I had 1 day a week in a classroom with one of the tutors, got up to scratch, and on both maths and the English component, I got over 97%, just talking to them once a week and getting the job done. Also in the first year, you're working towards your BTEC, you're working towards your HNC, as well as learning the actual skills. So if you're electrical bias, you'll be learning how to fit wires, you'll be learning how to run through cables, actually build panels and do stuff that way. If you're mechanical biases, you are actually taking apart gearboxes, you're taking apart engines, you're trying to actually fix them. So over to the second year.
For the second year, once you've completed your first bit of training, you would commence work-based training on site following a bespoke training program. You would train with your job to do the job that you were originally employed for. You would also work 1 day a week on your BTEC or your HNC, depending on what your company wanted you to do. And alongside that, you would get support. You've got support from the Make UK staff, people teaching the BTEC to make sure you learnt it all properly, learnt how to get that qualification. But there's one bit of support that stands out in the second year, and that's your training development advisor. This training development advisor, or TDA for short, will come and visit you at your workplace every 6 to 8 weeks, depending on which apprenticeship you go for, and they'll speak to you about how things are going, what could go better, are there any issues. They'll provide you with all manner of support to ensure that you are getting the most out of your apprenticeship.
So in the final year or third and fourth years, depending on what pathway you're going down, this is where you are basically one of the productive members of your company. You're spending most of your time at company, and it's your actual real world experience that you're being tested on. So this is where you're giving evidence of things that will actually change at company. So you're doing projects. When you do a project, they will actually like to see how your company implemented it, and if they didn't implement it, why they didn't implement it, and so on and so forth. The TDA is very important at this point as well, because they will be the liaison between you and the training provider in order to make sure that you're doing what you need to do and getting the most out of your company there. But really and truly, nothing differentiates you between any person that's working at the company or being an apprentice, because you are a fully fledged member of your company at this point. These are some of the guys that actually bring their apprentices to Make UK. So I work for the company Ishida, and
as I said before, I work for Brandauer.
So as you can see, Jaguar Land Rover, AE Aerospace, Arconic, Hadley, and so many more people have trusted us to bring their apprenticeships and bring more apprentices every year. My company's personally bringing 9 more apprentices for September coming, and we are constantly bringing apprentices through. Not just for the BTEC, however, they go straight on to their HNC and a little bit further as well. And all of this is paid by the company. You do not come out of pocket at all, and you are earning while you're learning. So, what can you expect? This is where we thought that we could just read the PowerPoint and then, you lot can get the information that we wrote. But it's better that you get the information from us, because we've kind of gone through it. So I'll tell you a little bit about my background. So I'm one of the older apprentices. I am just shy of 30. And so I was working before I decided to do my apprenticeship, and one day I thought, you know what, I don't want to do my job anymore. I actually want a career, I want to move forward and whatnot. So I decided to go for the apprenticeship that I saw for Ishida, which was a software and electrical engineering apprenticeship. So I work as part of the software team, and sometimes I work as part of the electrical team. And Ishida manufactures machines for the food industry. So we do weighing machines, packaging machines, X-ray machines, air scanning machines, and so on and so forth, all over the world and over 100 countries. And we've been going since 1980s, I think, so about 20-ish, 30-ish years. So we're doing really well at the moment. We're making way over £1 million in revenue a year, and that's on the Europe side alone, not talking about what the rest of the world is doing. And I am part of that. Every day I go into the office or I go into the shop floor, there's something to do, and I'm always getting work done. On top of that, they're very supportive about my education side and getting my qualifications. They give me the time I need in order to get my assignments done, or if I need to do anything else extra, they actually provide certain books and trainings in what to do. And that's my experience of my apprenticeship. Again, at Make UK, the support is always there. If I need some help in terms of I don't understand something, the tutors are just an email away and they're pretty good at responding. There's also other things that you can do. So there's more resources that they bring you. There's lots of standard operation procedures around the wall and lots of inspirational quotes as well, just to help you go throughout the day. What about you, Will?
Thank you. Now, originally, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do career-wise or job-wise. I thought about going into engineering because I thought it'd be something I'm good at. But originally, I started off going to college after school. I got my GCSEs, I got my A-levels, and I thought, you know what, let's go for an engineering apprenticeship. I wasn't quite sure what to pick. Luckily, Make had a lot of different vacancies, a lot of different job roles. And so I picked one with Brandauer & Co. Limited. I'm very happy that I picked them because Make were very supportive, and so were Brandauer. With Make, I actually started my apprenticeship a bit later than everyone else in December 2020 because, well, everyone knows what happened in 2020. So yeah, and I went in, and I'm not going to lie, it was a big change, but they had support there for people who were new. And so I went to them, I said, I'm having real trouble adapting to this new environment. And they provided all the support they needed. They got me sat down, they got me sorted, they got me on my BTEC qualification, they explained everything as best they could. They provided me with all the best support I could get and plenty of training for my upcoming job role. As I mentioned before, Brandauer are a metal pressings company. My role that I'm training for is a tool setter / operator role. Put tool in, run machine, produce parts. Sounds a bit boring, but it's not. It's actually really involved. Brandauer themselves have offered plenty of support to me, training. They don't mind going over things a few times, and they've made sure that I've done the job properly and that I've learnt everything correctly. Now, I'm in my second year, and I get TDA support. It's during those meetings that I can really go over everything that I need. Everything's going well in my first year, everything's going well in my second year, and things are continuing to progress for me so that I can build an actual career out of this apprenticeship. I'm very happy with the choice that I made because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but I went for the opportunity that was available because there weren't many opportunities available at that time. I was lucky enough to get one, and it was the best thing I've ever done. So I'd highly recommend it.
So, could you be our next future maker? Well, it's up to you, because it's just like anything. It is a job at the end of the day, but it's a job that teaches you, and you have the power to go on and do bigger and better things. And it depends how hard you want to work, and it depends how hard you want to take this into the next steps. Because after this, I'll be finishing my BTEC, I'll be going on to H&C. After my H&C, I'll be doing my foundation degree. After my foundation degree, I'll be doing my degree. And all of that, it's not paid by me, it's paid by my employer. I would not spend a penny on learning all of these cool new skills in electrical engineering, manufacturing, project managing, and all sorts. It might be something to think about. I know that some of you are probably GCSE level, some of you are just gone into college or don't know what to do. And most of the times, people are just saying, go to college, go to uni, this, that, and the other. Yes, it is an option, but so is this. This might also be an option. So if you want to have more of a chat with us, you can ask us questions after this. We'll be over there in that stand right there that with the reaction time tester thing over there. We've got a lot of inset days for schools and lots of parents' evenings and teacher conference and open days and whatnot. So feel free, come and have a chat with us. Ben or Will or me, we'll be over there later on as well, so you can have a chat. But is there any questions that anyone has here while we're here? Yes. Is balancing work and study hard? Yes. It is more difficult the first time you do it in your first year, in your second year, because you're not used to it. But the moment you get used to it, which you will, because it takes you about 2 months-ish, in my opinion, to get used to it. Once you get used to it, it's just like any other day. It's like learning a new skill. It's hard at the beginning, and then you get used to it, and then you can do it in your sleep. Any other questions? No? Brilliant, thank you so much.